Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. The waiting is finally over. The talking is finally done. It's the first day of the 2023 Cheltenham Festival, and we can all stop talking about it, and we can just hand over now to the brilliant horses, the fabulous brave jockeys, and see whether all the chat we've been going on about through the winter is right or wrong. I'm halfway through my mucking out of the morning. As usual, I'm stopping for a coffee. And so I thought I'd do a coffee break Cheltenham. So everything you need to know about day one in the time it takes you and me to drink a cup of coffee. So the first race of the day is the Supreme, the famous roar that gets the runners underway. And I suppose this race revolves entirely around Facile Vega and whether Willie Mullins can get him back to his best after he inexplicably bombed out last time at the Dublin Racing Festival. The reason there was given that he went too hard, he was too free. I think they're going to try and settle him here and drop him in. Now, that for me is the concern. I've likened it to one of those tents you get in the pack that are beautifully, neatly packaged, and as soon as you take them out, they're a devil to get back in. And that can be a horse that's keen. Once they start getting keen, it's not all that easy to just drop them in and settle them. If anyone can do it, Willie Mullins can do it. Obviously, Facile Vega is a festival winner, impressive winner of the bumper last year, and I think you have to respect just how much regard Willie holds this horse in. But for me, he's getting a short enough price now. I can happily watch him win without any money on his back. I've been a fan of Strong Leader throughout the season. He's got to step up. He's been winning weaker races than this, but he's a strong, travelling, powerful finishing horse. Stayed on really well over 2 mile one at Aintree on his penultimate start, and I like that here, given that stamina is going to be required on this softer ground. Whether soft ground suits him is a little bit of a question because he's a nice moving horse, but he's a big price. I'm happy to take a chance that he'll run into a place, and I think he's a horse to follow regardless. I think also this soft ground definitely brings Timurus into reckoning. His Tolworth hurdle form was franked by Nameen Lion and Colonel Harry in the Moor Battle hurdle 2 weeks ago. He beat them comfortably and for value them far more than the winning margin because he bundled the last 2 hurdles. And I think that was a result of hanging left, actually, and not concentrating. On this left-handed track, that shouldn't be such an issue, and I think this ground definitely brings him into reckoning in what I think, if Facile Vega is taken out of the race, is a wide open race. So for me, Timurus and Strong Leader against the field, but it's a race that I won't be getting heavily involved in. The next race is probably the most exciting clash of the day, and it's Jonbon and Fabiolo face off again after they met at Aintree last year, where Jonbon prevailed by a neck. Now, much was made of the fact that was Fabiolo's second hurdle start, so there's every reason to think he's come forward from that. But I think that can be countered by the fact that Jonbon had been to Cheltenham, and we know that history shows horses can run below themselves. Now, just because he won doesn't mean he's run to his best. If he's run slightly below himself there and still got the job done, is every chance that he can improve on what he's done. And he's definitely a better chaser than he was hurdler, though I think the same can be said for Fabiolo. I thought it was interesting at Aintree that Fabiolo definitely headed him up the run-in, and Jonbon out-battled and arguably outstayed Fabiolo. So that's certainly of note. I think Jonbon is the better jumper. Fabiolo holds the single best piece of chase form coming into this. That Irish Arkle at the Dublin Racing Festival was a run at a fierce pace, and he won it very nicely, and there was no fluke about it. He wasn't dropped out and picked up pieces. He was right there in the heat of the battle from the beginning. I just didn't like how he guessed it a couple down the back, and he made a couple of 50 mistakes and one fairly severe mistake. I find it too hard to call. My instinct says that good winners win Arkles, and I think in that case it's Jonbon, but I won't be getting involved with them. I've taken an anti-pose position about Dysart Dynamo, who anyone that's watched anything I do know I love this horse. I was pretty disappointed in the immediate aftermath of the Irish Arkle, but in hindsight, perhaps this sharper track and shorter trip might just suit him. And I think Danny Mullins, who for me is the best out there at the moment. I love how he talks and thinks about things, and I think he's a very inventive, imaginative rider, which I like. If he can somehow sneak a breather into this horse and just get him to race just a little bit more efficiently, he might just be able to give them the slip. But I think it's going to be a fascinating race all the same. Then go into the Ultimate, the handicap chase over 3.25 miles. Now, history tells us that the Irish just struggle to win this race. I've been a big fan of Monbeg Genius. I flagged him up in handicap movers and shakers after he won at Chepstow. And he won impressively that day from a horse called Stormy Flight, who won his next start. I think should have won at Wincanton on his following start, was perhaps given an overconfident ride. And he this morning has been reassessed to a mark of 126. Now, Monbeg Genius gave him £18 and beat him comfortably. It was only 2 lengths officially, but it was a very careful ride up the last 3 fences from John Joe Neal Jr. He was definitely valued for more than the winning margin. I think there's every chance that Monbeg Genius is a 150 horse eventually. Runs here off 140. Slight concern he's running small fields, and this is obviously going to be a lot bigger and more hustle and bustle, but I think if he copes with that, he's got a great chance. I also tipped Anti-Post on the SBK podcast, fast or slow. He's been running in 2-mile graded chases. Even though he's a novice, he's been running in graded chases behind Gentleman to Me. He stayed really well in the Coral Trophy last year. He'll love this soft ground, as it was in the Coral Trophy last year. And he only qualifies for this race because he ran in a 3-year-old chase at Auteuil. Martin Brazil is very, very shrewd, and I think he's well aware that he's snuck this horse in here, perhaps not showing his full hand over fences. I think he'll stay. I think he's a likely one that could possibly upset the trend. And then just another one at a big price, and that's Venetia Williams, Cloudy Glen. Now, if you're following Venetia this week, you would like to see her in better form. She did have a winner at Stratford yesterday. Cloudy Glen runs off 145, which is just £5 higher than when he went in the Hennessy or the Coral Trophies, I think it was. He's a bit of an enigma of a horse, but he can go forward, which tends to suit this race. And I thought he made a nice reappearance with a run at Haydock in the Grand National Trial last month. He was off the track for over 380 days before that. Got a bit tired in the closing stages. Maybe that was the extended trip. Maybe it was just the fact it was his first run back. I think at a big price, he's an outsider with a sneaky chance. So those are my 3 against the field there. Then we move on to the Champion Hurdle. Now, there's no tipping in this. Sit back, watch Constitution Hill. I think he wins this comfortably. If he doesn't, I think that you'd have to concede that he will have underperformed. And it, for me, shows that racing hasn't just got to be about betting. You know, there'll be a few of you out there that have backed I Like to Move It or Vauban at each way Anti-Post prices, and you've done well because you now got 3 runners, 3 places in a field where you're only going to get 2 places on the day. But for me, it's a case of sitting back, watching a brilliant horse and a brilliant jockey, and let's hope he proves that he is as good as we all think, and I think probably know he is. On then to the Mares Hurdle, which is a fascinating clash. Honeysuckle, Epatante, Marie's Rock, who was my stayers hurdle fancy, has been sent here on account of the soft ground, which is a disappointment to me on 2 faces. I was really keen on Marie's Rock for the stayers, and I was really keen here on Epatante. But I think the soft ground perhaps won't see Epatante at her best, but I'm not overly concerned. I think she's shown that she can cope with it. But I do think the younger Marie's Rock might just cause her a problem. I think with all the rain that's falling, you have to give Love Envoy a mention. She thrives in these conditions. She won at the festival last year. Noel Feely and Dave Cross do a great job with their syndicate. They're buying some really smart horses. And of course, if Tamuras wins the Supreme, it could be a really good day if Love Envoy can follow up. It's a really fascinating race. I've backed Epatante Anti-Post. I may well try and play to a position with Marie's Rock where I can sort of break even. But again, for me now, it's a race where I probably just have to take my medicine a little bit and enjoy the racing separate from the betting. The Boodles Hurdle race is generally a division and certainly a race I don't tend to get involved with. I've not had a bet. If I was forced to come up with a selection, I think maybe Punta d'Este. He's got form on soft ground in France. He's a national hunt bred against what will primarily be flatbreds here, so might just have a bit more physicality to cope with the testing conditions. I thought he stayed well at Haydock last time, and this stiff attraction suit. But it's a race I'll watch, take plenty of notes. There'll be a good few horses to follow from this, but it's not a betting race for me. And then the day finishes with the National Hunt Chase over 3 miles 6. I've been a big fan of Guy Ardemanil all through the season. Apart from midway through the season, I started to go a bit cool on him, but he was my first Anti-Post bet. He's pretty uninspired now at evens, but I think he's just a class above these. He's got to prove he copes with soft ground and 3 miles 6, but he looks to me slow and steady, and he'll stay well. He's got a great jockey on board in Patrick Mullins. I think he does show, though, that this race needs to be looked at. It's become a bit of a non-contest in the last couple of years, with high-class novice horses scaring off plenty. Maybe a sort of situation where horses that have won graded races carry penalties might just encourage a few to move away from it into the Browns advisory, which is perhaps where Guy Ardemanil should be running, and might encourage a few more to come and take their chance against decent horses carrying more weight. So that's the Cheltenham Day 1 wrap-up. I hope you've enjoyed your coffee. I'm pretty much through mine. I'm going to get back to my mucking out now. Plenty of you liking these videos. Please hit a subscribe on these, like them, share them with your friends. I'm enjoying doing them. I'm glad that you're enjoying seeing what I hope is slightly different content. So yeah, hit a subscribe because they'll be up every day this week, and hopefully I'll give you some useful information. Enjoy the day. And then finally, just a little piece of advice, a bit of information. There will be a tendency this week to feel that you need to bet on every race. Now, for me, I've never bet on every race on a card ever, I don't think. I certainly don't have a bet every race at Plumpton on a Monday, and I therefore don't see why it should be any different at the Cheltenham Festival. It's fiercely competitive racing. It's brilliantly exciting to watch, but it is devilishly difficult to find a winner. So pace yourself, bet within your means. If you bet £1 each way normally, bet £1 each way at the Cheltenham Festival. It, to me, is inconceivable that you would up your stakes in what is a harder contest to win against the bookies. So enjoy it, bet responsibly, and just watch these brilliant horses do brilliant things. I'll see you tomorrow.